I just think we deserve better than lazy, overpriced concert merch. Is that bold to say? Does this story sound familiar? You fought your way through the nightmare that is Ticketmaster. You get to the venue and you're like,
you know what? I'm gonna treat myself to some merch.
You walk up to the merch booth and there it is. A plain t-shirt with a square picture of the artist on it. Groundbreaking. Are you impressed by it? No. But you go,
it's for the memories, and you know what? I can totally style it. I can totally make it work.
And so you look at the price and yes, that really does say $45. But then you're like, well,
you're here for the memories, and like, you're only gonna go to the show once. And then also, I guess you're not paying shipping, like if you bought it online.
So you sigh and you buy the t-shirt. Fast forward a month and you realize that because you have boobs, the square design is always deformed. You also never really wear it out because you're scared that people are gonna look at you and think,
oh my god, she's a crazy fangirl.
And after washing it 2 times, the colors are fading, the design is cracking, and somehow it doesn't feel as soft anymore. In fact, it kind of feels a little bit scratchy. So where does this t-shirt end up? Say it with me now. As a sleep shirt. Hi, my name is Bella, I'm a musician, I'm a fangirl, and also happen to have a master's degree in branding, and I've wanted to rant about this topic for years, but I never got around to it. Then I saw this one TikTok that really just pushed me over the edge. I was like, that's enough! So now we're talking about it. Based on you guys' responses on Instagram, it seems that I'm not the only one who is, less than satisfied with the current state of the music merch industry. So today we're going to talk about a little brief history of merch, why good merch is important, then we're going to talk about bad merch with examples, and my merch pet peeves. Then I'm going to show you 2 examples of merch that's actually good, in my opinion, and why I think it's good merch. And then we're going to round off with improvements that I want to see in the future in the merch industry. But let me just first give you some disclaimers. First of all, I have no actual experience making merch, so this is purely from a frustrated consumer point of view. And also, this is not about independent artists. This is mainly targeted at labels who have the money to do better, but decide not to because they would rather increase profits. Also, quick side note, I am so close to being monetized on YouTube, so if you like music, covers, mashups, reaction videos, opinion videos, fangirliness, you found the right corner of the internet. And it would mean a lot if you hit subscribe, like the video, and also watch the video as far as you can manage, because watch hours are everything for me right now. Anyways, let's get into it. So as far as I could find online, concert merch really started out with the band tee back in the 1960s. And it was popularized by bands such as the Rolling Stones, who really were some of the first to sell a huge amount of merch in that way. And their purpose back then was to be a keepsake from the concert. Then in the 70s and 80s, it kind of transformed a bit. So instead of just having the band logo on a t-shirt, the t-shirts were more intricately designed and more aesthetic or fitting with the trends at the time. And then today, merch has become this multi-billion-dollar industry. And for a lot of touring artists, merch is actually what can make or break their tour and decide whether it's a profitable tour or not. I would argue that there's 3 different ways that fans use merch after buying it that isn't reselling. The first category I call the retired category. This is merch that is not that good quality or badly designed, so you could never wear it out in public, so you just kind of wear it around the house to kind of get use out of it. The second category I call the nostalgia category. These are the things that go into your sentimental box that you probably have in a closet or a cupboard or under your bed. Think pop sockets, lanyards, wristbands, or even collectible merch. And then we have the third category, which is nicely designed merch that you could actually wear in public. On Instagram, you guys seem to surprisingly wear a lot of your merch out, but some of you guys also fell into the 2 other categories. But I would argue that the third category is really the most valuable one. Ideally, you would buy merch, and the merch would be good enough quality and well designed enough for you to want to wear it for years. And once it gets to a certain point, it's kind of well used and well loved, you kind of move it to be a sleep shirt. And then you wear it for a couple more years until it's really falling apart, and then either it's so sentimental to you that you can't bear throw it out, so you put it in the sentimental box, or you're like, you know what, it served its purpose, and then you recycle it. But sadly, that's not the mindset that I think a lot of merch is designed with. And you might be like,
Bella, it's just a t-shirt. It's really not that deep.
But you're wrong, and let me tell you why you're wrong and why it's not just a t-shirt or not just a hoodie. As someone who wrote their master thesis on music fandoms, merch is part of the experience. When you think about it, except for physical copies of the music, going to the concerts, or I don't know, running into the artist on the street, merch is really the only physical manifestation of this parasocial relationship that you have with the artist. And if merchandise is well thought out and well produced, then every time you interact with this piece of merch, you get positive associations to the artist, which strengthens your bond to the artist and can theoretically make you more loyal to the artist and therefore want to spend more money on the artist in the future and support the artist more. And if the merch sucks, it can make you feel like the artist just wanted to sell you something. And so every time you interact with this itchy, scratchy hoodie or this badly designed t-shirt and remember that you can't wear it out because it looks ugly, that subconsciously gives you negative associations to the artist. And so in the future, you might not even want to buy merch, or you might be like, well, if they don't care about me, then why should I care about them? And if you give good merch to the fans, then they will give you good support back. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just a t-shirt. I feel like I just word vomited a lot of shit, so hopefully that made sense. Speaking of shit, let's talk about shitty merch and my pet peeve. After thinking about it for a while, I think it really comes down to laziness in different parts of the merch making process. Let me explain. Firstly, there's the design. You know when you see a lazy design and you're like, this design has nothing to do with the vibes or the themes of the artist or their music. It's like if a font comes out of nowhere that you've never seen before in relation to the artist, or it looks like a template. It's like, really? The big label with a shit ton of money couldn't afford to pay a graphic designer to make well-designed merch that actually fits with the vibes and aesthetics and the theme of the artist? Sometimes I look at a piece of merch and I'm like, there's no way that people, probably multiple people, sat down and with a serious face were like,
yeah, this is good.
do you know what? Like, there's no way. So for shits and giggles, I was like, let me see how long it actually takes to design a shitty piece of merch. So it took me 2 minutes and 17 seconds to make merch that is, I guess, at the same level of quality that I've seen so many times before. I even put an effect on the picture. I took inspiration from this Love on Tour Harry Styles t-shirt that is on his merch store, and it's quite similar in design, don't you think? Like, yes, there's more tour dates, but like, let's say I put the tour dates on the actual t-shirt, then it would take maybe, what, I don't know, 2 minutes more. Let's say it takes 5 minutes to make this design. Imagine how many t-shirts were sold with this design, and then think about how many mini milliseconds that equals out to per t-shirt, per fan. I just think that maybe fans deserve a little more time and consideration than that. My second pet peeve is when it's so obvious that the merch team has never, ever tried the design on a body, like a human body, and that they just approved them based on like a 2D image mock-up. And this is where the TikTok I saw that started it all comes into play. This is a Gracie Abrams merch t-shirt. She has the picture on the back and it's not in a square, so I guess that's fine. Also, it's a pink shirt, not a black or white shirt, so I guess it's more in her vibe. Also, there's some cursive text that kind of fits her aesthetic, except that it's clear that no one had tried this t-shirt on in real life before ordering thousands of these t-shirts. Because if they had, they would have noticed that for $75, it looks like my butt is constantly out is not good. But if they tuck it, they shouldn't have to tuck it. It's your job to make good merch, so make good merch. My third pet peeve is the material. And I get it, we're all just playing and losing the game of capitalism. At this point, we're so used to the enshittification of clothes and the fast fashion of it all that I think we kind of forget that we deserve better. I feel like I have to say this with the way the industry is going. If I see my favorite artist put out a piece of merch where the design on the merch is so heavily AI generated and so obviously AI generated, that I think it might be my final straw. Like, really? You want me to spend my real money on a t-shirt that probably cost $5 to make for some AI generated slop to be on it and then sold for $45? No. Also, on a more serious note, I spoke about this video with my dad. He's a chemist, and he was like, have you thought about the chemicals? And I was like, what? Quick search on why to wash new clothes. Wearing fast fashion clothing without washing it first can expose you to several risks: chemical exposure, bacteria and germs, textile dyes and residues, and pesticide and chemical residues. These can cause skin irritation, allergic reactions, or even long-term health issues. Online, it's the different thing. You have access to washing your stuff at home. But for shows, when you know that people are going to wear it right away, maybe pre-wash the stuff. But then again, if it starts losing its color because it's such bad quality after one wash, then they can't do that because then it's not going to look so nice at the merch booth. Let's move on. Now let me give you some examples of merch that I actually think is pretty good. Starting strong with the Taylor Swift cardigans. Am I a Swiftie? No. But from a branding point of view, these cardigans are so genius. First of all, a cardigan is not this common merch item. So instantly, a cardigan seems less lazy. Second of all, she has a song called Cardigan. So there's a story, there's a link, there's a reason, there's value in that story. And then whenever she drops a new album, she drops a new color version of the same cardigan. So fans feel like it's almost a collector's item and that it's more valuable than just a random t-shirt. And it's also not so obvious that it's Taylor Swift merch because it's a cardigan. And it's only, I believe, like a little label on the side that says Taylor Swift. Another artist that does regular concert merch staples really well is, in my opinion, Louis Tomlinson. This is a Louis Tomlinson hoodie. This circle, if it had been like 5 centimeters, 2 centimeters lower, it would have been like a boob circular. So you know that they tried this thing on. Also, I'll put up a picture of the back. It says World Tour and gives all the tour dates, and the design is really nice. And only at the top does it say in a little tiny font, Louis Tomlinson. So when you wear it out, you might be recognized by other fans, which is fine. But then also, instead of people going,
"Oh, so you're a Louis Tomlinson fan,"
people go,
"Oh, that's a cool design. Where did you get that?"
and then you're like, "Oh, I got it from a concert." And I like how the vibes and the aesthetics are similar across different merch drops, across different tours. It's just so cohesive and well thought out. And the fabric, I don't know how much decision-making power he had, but this hoodie feels so much better. I've had it for, I don't remember when I got it, when I went to the show, and it's still soft on the inside. It's still smooth. The design is still prevalent. It's not peeling. This feels like a more high quality fabric. Is there room for improvement? Yes, but this is probably some of the best merch that I've had. To round this off, here are some things that I think should be implemented in the merch space. First of all, the easiest thing for the laziest company to implement is to just give the merch piece a story. If you're going to be cheap on the design and the fabric, at least give me a story. At least give me something that I can hold on to, that I can be like, okay, maybe then it's worth it. Do you know what I mean? For example, I went to Harry Styles' Love on Tour. There was this long sleeve with 4 houses playing instruments. And at the beginning, I was like, I don't know how this fits with anything. Like, and yes, I get it, Harry's house, haha, houses on a shirt, but why are they playing instruments? What is going on? Then when I was researching for this video, I looked it up, and on the website, it says, features the 4 houses from the tour video footage. Okay, I get that, but we were never told the significance of the 4 houses in the tour intro either. You know what I mean? Next, I want to see environmentally conscious production. I would argue that a lot of fans would pay more for better quality merch, better designed merch, and merch that was made in an environmentally conscious way and not in a sweatshop somewhere. And you guys agreed with me on Instagram as well. If they already make it that way, then put a sign in the merch booth, put a banner on the website. And also, if Ticketmaster didn't rip us off for ticket prices, we would have more money to spend on good quality merch. Then next, size inclusivity. Plus size people have money. Plus size people deserve to get good merch. And I get it, it's not profitable to make all of, but just make it anyways. Just be good people. It just pisses me off sometimes. Like, ugh, do you really have to say this? Like, make clothes that fit everybody. Oh, on the merch websites, I don't want a photoshopped flat lay of the fucking t-shirt. I want it on a human body. I don't even need it on like multiple bodies. I just need one. Like, fuck it, make the artist take pictures in the merch. I don't need professional lighting. I just need to see it on someone. Can you tell this is the part of the video where I just like fucking went for it? Anyways, last one. You might be like,
But Bella, what if you're a big label and coming up with ideas is so hard, so you have to use AI to come up with ideas?
no. You know what would be so much better? Especially if you have a big fandom that you're making merch for. Collaborate with smaller merch designers in the fandom. I'll say it again. Collaborate with small merch designers in the fandom. In medium to big sized fandoms, there are people out there who make fan designed merch. Collaborate with them. Not only would it mean a lot to the merch designer and be somewhat cheap and affordable for you to get good designs as a label or as a merch maker, it would also be so much more valuable from the perspective of fans because it was designed by one of us. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was designed by someone in our fandom. Like, we have to support this. And also, the design is great. So I feel like it's just a win-win-win situation. I don't understand why it's not happening. To round this off, at the end of the day, fans will probably continue buying merch. But I just think we deserve better. And if artists and their labels took more care in designing and making good quality merch, they could turn it into something that fans would actually want to wear and promote instead of it just becoming another sleep shirt. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!